All right, I'm going to try to get as much of this in frame as I possibly can. I'm doing the head service on this, and I'm removing these valves so I can, let me see here if I can get the, there we go. That'll help. So I've already got one of the exhaust valves out, and one of the retainers for the spring, the valve spring, is still down there, along with the valve guide seal, which I will replace. So let me see if I can get it in frame here too. Whoa, don't look at my junk. Okay, here I've got a valve spring compressor tool for this type of valve or head setup here. So I've got it in trying to get it in frame as much as I can, but it kind of works like a C-clamp. And my eyes are up here. Just kidding. Hey, I thought it was a good joke. But anyway, let me see if we can see it here. So I'm being my own cameraman here. I'm dealing with an aluminum surface here. Make sure I'm in place. Okay. And I'm not wanting to gouge in that aluminum surface. The key is I'm wanting to resurface this a little bit and take care of any warpage from any of these points on the head, so that our valve, our head gasket mates with our jug, our cylinder portion there, and we end up with a perfect seal and no coolant getting by there or anything else, or losing any compression. Okay, so we got the top part here in place, and what I'm going to do, again, I'm trying to keep this in frame here. I'm going to put this piece into the little C-clamp thing and start to, again, making sure, oh, yeah, there we go. Making sure that we're staying on it. I'm getting it seated onto the valve spring retainer. All right, and I'm starting to put some pressure on it. So one thing I'm going to do here is, there we go. Did you hear that sound? That was the keepers, the valve retainers coming on loose off of there. So again, I'm trying to stay in frame here, so we're just bear with me. Okay, so I'm going to try to show this. You can kind of see these two little pieces down here. Let me use my pick here to kind of show you. Here is, you can see it getting loose there. That's one of the retainers, and the other one is right here. Let me see if I can get it loose with my magnet here. There's one of them, and you can see it's got a ridge on it that it goes into a, find your words, Dewey. I'm having a Biden moment. It just fits into the ridge on the valve. Oh, and I just wiggled this a little bit, and I got the second one. So now, I'm putting my magnet aside, and I'll show you where I'm putting these in a second. I'm just backing off our pressure. And I usually go probably a little bit farther than you have to, but there we go, I can do it by hand. Wow, you're actually getting to see me do some activities this time. Let's see, so I'm just backing this the rest of the way off. Yeah. Okay. So you can see this is the top keeper, and it just sets down here on the spring. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn this upside down and let it come out. So the bottom one of these, there's a bottom one that's just kind of a washer. It will sit in place. And all I got to do then is push the valve out. And you can see the valve. And there you go. You can see the little, this is the keeper slot, that slot at the very top, what that ridge sets in. And just bear with me here. This is my layout. I've got both of my exhaust valves. I've got my shim from the valve and the two keepers. And then I'm yet to do the intake side on this side. So once I get that done, I'll bring you over to the station where I do the resurfacing. So I'll repeat this process 2 more times for the intake. Alright, we're back over here, and I hope this shows up pretty good for you. We've got all of the valves out. Here, let me see if that's in frame. Okay, yeah, we got all the valves out, and you can see that this surface of this cylinder head is, you know, it's got some marking on it. We might have some warpage, but either way, we're going to clean this up just enough so that we know we're going to have a really good seal on our head gasket. And the way I do this is I've got this set up here, and you might have seen this on my channel before. I've got a piece of steel that is 100% flat on my countertop. I have a couple of 1x4s here, and I have a piece of 220 grit sandpaper, or it's rated for metal. But this one I've used before because I have done actually the most recent one that I did was a wr250x head that had a lot of warpage. But anyway, my procedure, I'll take you through one round and show you what it does. And you know, it's kind of intense, so this one might be one where you kind of skip through, or you might not. But here it goes. I just do figure 8s here. This is what I do. And then I go the opposite direction, so clockwise and counterclockwise, or in this case counterclockwise, then clockwise. And then I spin it, and I do the same thing, and it gets real tight in here, and I'm not pushing down on it any more than I have to keep it flat, because I don't want it to sand unevenly. And then just like that, you can see the impact that we've made so far. You can see that we have some indentation here. I'm not seeing a lot of evidence of warpage here, because on this other one, well, you can see that we haven't made contact here yet. And so I'm just looking here. Here's our exhaust side, and we're making more contact on our cam chain side. So we've got some progress to make before we go to 440 grit. Then we'll go to, I think I got it's 400 grit, and then I'll do a finish with the 600 grit, very minimally. I'm doing it just to smooth up that surface while maintaining a little bit of cross hatching on there. Give it some surface that makes it uniform, and that head gasket will seal perfectly. Also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the surface that's going to be mating up with this surface from the jug, and I'm going to do a mild reconditioning of that surface. It's probably unnecessary, but it's my ritual. I'll check back with you when I get done. Okay, I've done 4 rounds on this cylinder head. I had to replace the sandpaper that I was trying to use, the emery cloth, or what do you want to call it. I was trying to be cheap and save my last piece, but I had to go ahead and put my last new one on there. And I had just one small divot in one side, but it's all gone now. So I'm going to step down to 400, then I'm going to step down to 600 and get this thing polished up real nice. Alright, we've done a cycle of 400, and then this is our cycle of 600, and I'm very happy with how it's turned out. Normally I would be giving it a bath right now, but I want to use some contact cleaner and clean up this exhaust manifold here, and so I'm going to do that, but I'm not going to do that tonight. So I'm just going to clean that out with some 3M. Then I'm going to give this thing a bubble bath and rinse it a few times, make sure that we're all cleaned up. But that's going to do it for part 9. I think that's what we're on now. So I want to thank you for watching, and please share this and subscribe to my channel.